Have you ever wondered how a really complex website gets planned out? Well, think about an architect's blueprint for a massive building. It's this clear, elegant plan for every single room and hallway. That's pretty much what routing does for a website. And today, we are going to master the blueprint that Next.js gives us. So when you type a URL into your browser, something like yoursite.com/about, how does the website actually know to show you the About page and not, say, the Contact page, right? That's the fundamental question, and the answer is a system called routing. It's basically the digital traffic cop of the internet. In the old days, setting up all this navigation meant writing these huge, complex configuration files. It was a messy process, manually telling the server what to do for every single URL. But oh man, Next.js just completely changes the game. Its approach is so simple, it's kind of beautiful. Your folder structure is your routing. What you see in your files is what you get in the browser. Okay, let's really dive into this. We're about to see how Next.js takes that tangled mess of configuration and turns it into this clean, intuitive blueprint for your entire application. So the whole system, the entire thing, is built on this one really powerful idea: file-based routing. All this means is that your folder structure automatically, magically, creates your website's URLs. There are no complex config files to wrestle with. Your file manager literally becomes your route manager. So here it is, the most crucial point. If you remember only one thing from this whole explainer, make it this: every single folder you create becomes a piece of your URL. And inside that folder, there's a special file. It's usually called page.tsx, and that is the actual screen the user sees. Folder plus file equals a web page. That's the whole magic trick right there. Let's actually see this in action, because it makes it so much clearer. Just think of your project like a digital file cabinet. Every drawer, every folder inside, it has a specific label, and that label becomes the direct path to whatever's inside. All right, check this out. The most basic example. In the main part of your app folder, you have a single page.tsx file. That file directly becomes your home page. Simple as that. app/page.tsx is yoursite.com/. Done. Now watch this. What if we need an About page? Easy. We just create a new folder, call it About, and we put another page.tsx file inside of it. Instantly, Next.js knows that this maps to yoursite.com/about. You've just created a brand new page without writing a single line of routing code. It's awesome. And this whole system just scales so well. You want a blog? Okay, create a blog folder. Put its own page file inside. Boom, you have a blog page. The structure of your folders is a perfect mirror of the structure of your website. It's clean, it's predictable, and it is unbelievably powerful. But here, right here, is where it goes from just being clever to being absolute genius. We need to talk about layouts, which I like to call the Russian doll concept. This is the real secret to making your site feel blazingly fast. I mean, think about it. When you click from the home page to the blog page, do you really want the navigation bar and the footer to disappear for a split second and then reappear? You know that annoying flicker? That's a classic sign of a full page reload. And it just feels slow. What if we could just stop that from ever happening? Well, the solution is nested layouts. It's just like a Russian doll. Each layout wraps the content that's inside of it. So you've got this outermost shell, we call it the root layout, and that holds stuff that's always there, like your main navbar and your footer. It wraps everything. Then you can have inner layers, inner dolls for specific sections, like maybe a unique header just for your blog. And right there, at the very core, that's the page content itself. So what does all this get you? Well, when you navigate between two pages that are wrapped by the same layout, only the very middle dull, the page content, gets swapped out. The outer shells, the layouts, they don't re-render. They stay exactly where they are. And the result? Zero reloading. The navigation feels completely instant. It's a game changer. Okay, so our architect's blueprint is getting pretty sophisticated now. But what happens when we need to scale up? How do we handle not just one blog post, but maybe 1,000 blog posts? Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Our file-based system is great, but nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to manually create 1,000 folders for 1,000 different posts. That's not a blueprint, that's a complete nightmare. There has to be a better way. And of course there is. It's called a dynamic route. This is one of the most powerful tools in your entire architect's kit. By using square brackets in a folder's name, you create a template, a kind of master key page that can unlock and display content for any matching URL. Okay, so here's how it works. We create a single folder, but we name it with brackets like slug. Now, when a user goes to /blog/myfirstpost, Next.js is smart. It uses this master key page, it grabs that last part of the URL, my first post, and it hands it to our page as a variable. So now our page knows exactly which blog post to go fetch from the database and display. One template for infinite pages. Now, as your site grows, even the best blueprint in the world can start to feel a little cluttered. So Next.js gives us some really nice advanced tools to keep things clean and organized, even on really massive projects. This one is a really neat trick. It's called a root group. It lets you use folders just for organization, but without them actually becoming part of the URL. All you do is wrap the folder name in parentheses. So you can group all your marketing pages into a parentheses marketing folder, keep them all together, but the URLs stay nice and clean. It's pure organization, without any side effects. So let's just recap the 3 core principles of our architect's blueprint here. First, we have file-based routing. Your folders are your URLs. Super intuitive. Second, nested layouts, the Russian doll that wraps your pages to give you that zero reload, instant navigation. And third, dynamic routes, the master key template that lets you create a million pages from a single file. Well, with Next.js, it can be. This isn't just about organizing files. It's a fundamentally clearer way to think about and to build web applications. It's a blueprint that's simple enough for you to start with in minutes, but powerful enough to build literally anything you can imagine.